There have been a ton of enhancements in 5-axis for GibbsCAM 12. If I was to list all of them and go through them all, we'd be here for an hour at least. So I just want to pick the top 3, at least in my opinion, and show you some of the new stuff. First thing that we have is we have an addition to porting. So what I did, let me move this model over a little bit so we can see it better. So I machined this angular pocket as a port, as a top of a port. So when I go over surface paths, you can see I selected port machining, roughing, and this is what we're used to, this offset toolpath when we are roughing out a port. Well, now we have the option to do adaptive roughing when we do that. Let me refresh this and take a look at it. So now you can see that it actually does an adaptive style toolpath instead of that step over. Now this is really, really important, especially if you're porting harder steels, more difficult to machine materials. This makes it a lot easier on the cutter, especially when you start getting down deep into those ports. So that's one thing. So we've added the adaptive roughing to our porting. So next, let's talk about some just regular surfacing. Here we go. So let's take a look at this. What I did is I did a morph between 2 lines or 2 curves. Now, in the past, what happens is this, is if the one curve is a lot longer than the second one, it looks great across the top along the longer one, but it tries to wrap itself around on the bottom one. So we've added this enhancement here. If we go to surface edge handling, right down here we can say extend edge curve. If I click OK and then redo it, you can see I get a much better toolpath. It really averages out the difference between the longer curve and the shorter curve. This is going to give you a much better result when you're using morph between 2 curves in 5-axis. This is a real powerful one. Now this last one, this one I like a lot. This one is, let me open this up here. So again, this is just a regular surface path. So nothing spectacular here, but this enhancement is going to show best in machine simulation. So let me open up machine simulation. The 5th axis, the 4th and 5th are really moving around. And what I did is, you can see here it says not to be tilted but stay. So I'm doing a normal to surface. Really, when we look at this, it could be machined in a 3-axis environment. Now, if I just switch this to 3-axis, what it does is it does the 3rd axis in that orientation. What I would really like to do is move it to an average angle that's normal to that angled surface. Well, now we can do that really easily automatically. Down here in our tool axis control dialog, we can just click on common direction. And if we go on single contour, let me go ahead and redo this. What this will do is this will pick the average angle for each contour, so each pass. So this is kind of like a 3+2, averaging the best angle for the 4th and 5th axis. So this is good, but let's say, this still isn't the 3-axis. Really, I don't need all that movement. It's nice, but the surface it doesn't fluctuate so much where I really need the movement that much. So let's say on all contours. So what this is going to do, let me go ahead and redo it. So you can see what this does is it actually takes the average angle for all of those contours and then locks your 4th and 5th, and it'll machine that in a 3-axis environment. So instead of having to go up here to our output format and 3-axis and maybe creating a new coordinate system, using that coordinate system, just by clicking this common direction on all contours, we're able to get that average angle and then lock that 4th and 5th axis. So if you have any questions about the multi-axis package in general, what's new in GibbsCAM 12, or the other vast amount of things that are new in 5-axis in GibbsCAM 12, please reach out to your local reseller or give GibbsCAM technical support a call. Thank you so much.